They say a dog's spirit is unbreakable, that no matter what you do to them, they will still wag their tail, they will still look for love. But I'm here to tell you that isn't always true. Sometimes the world is too heavy, sometimes the pain is too deep, and sometimes even a hero gives up. When I first heard about him, the text message just said, "monster." That's what the neighborhood called him, a wandering beast, a danger. They saw the wide jaw, they saw the cropped ears, the jagged scars of a past life that wasn't his choice. They saw a monster lurking in the shadows of an abandoned textile factory. But when I arrived, I didn't see a monster. I saw a ghost. He wasn't lurking, he was waiting, waiting for the cold to finally take him. He had stopped shivering hours ago. That's when you know it's bad. When they stop shivering, it means the body has accepted the end. I approached him slowly. My heart was hammering against my ribs, not out of fear of him, but fear for him. The smell hit me first, the metallic scent of old blood and the sour smell of infection. He was covered in mange so severe his skin looked like cracked stone. I whispered, "It's okay, big boy. I'm not them." When I reached out, he flinched. It wasn't a small flinch. His whole body convulsed. He squeezed his eyes shut and pressed his head into the wet concrete, bracing for the kick that never came. That broke me. This 80-pound creature, bred for power, reduced to a trembling leaf. He was too weak to stand, too broken to eat. I had to make a choice. I couldn't use the catch pole, it would terrify him. I had to wrap him in a blanket and carry him. I didn't know if he would bite. The world told me he was a dangerous breed, but as I wrapped the towel around his shoulders, he didn't growl. He let out a low, painful moan. He weighed nothing. He was just bones held together by scars. As I lifted him, he rested his heavy, blocky head on my shoulder. He didn't fight. He just surrendered. It was the first time in his life someone held him without hurting him. The drive to the vet was silent. Usually, rescue dogs pace, they whine, they look out the window. He did none of that. He lay perfectly still. I kept reaching back to check if he was breathing. I named him Titan, because he had carried the weight of the world on his back, and somehow he was still here. I looked in the rearview mirror. People see a pit bull and they see a fighter, but looking at Titan, I saw the truth of his breed. They are soft, they are sensitive, and when you break their heart, it shatters completely. He wasn't staring at me, he was staring 1,000 miles away, back at the people who did this to him. Dr. Evans didn't say a word when we walked in. She just shook her head. The exam was brutal. He was 30 pounds underweight, heartworm positive, advanced demodectic mange, and teeth filed. Someone had filed his teeth flat so he couldn't fight back during training. The first bath is always a spiritual moment. It's where the old life gets washed away. But with Titan, it was a horror movie. The water ran black with flea dirt, oil, and dried blood. He stood there like a statue. He didn't like the water, but he didn't try to escape. He had learned that struggling only made things worse. When I dried him, I found cigarette burns on his flank. I found scars from chains that had dug into his neck. Every inch of this dog told a story of cruelty. I whispered promises to him. Never again, Titan. You sleep inside tonight. You eat tonight. You are loved tonight. I don't think he believed me. Not yet. That first night, I set up the fluffiest orthopedic bed I had. I put warm blankets on it. Titan sniffed it, looked at me, and then laid down on the hard wooden floor 3 feet away. He didn't know he was allowed to be comfortable. He didn't know he was allowed to be soft. So I grabbed a pillow and I laid on the floor next to him. I woke up at 3 a.m. He hadn't moved, but his nose was touching my elbow. just a touch, a tiny bridge across the abyss. Recovery wasn't a straight line. It was a jagged climb. The physical wounds healed faster than the mental ones. His fur started to grow back, a beautiful velvety gray. His rids disappeared, but the fear was stubborn. Taking him outside was the hardest part, not because of him, but because of the world. I remember clearly, week 4. We were walking. Titan was wearing a silly yellow ducky sweater because he was still cold. A woman saw us. She didn't see the sweater. She didn't see the healing scars. She grabbed her child and practically ran across the street. She yelled, "You shouldn't have that killer in this neighborhood." Titan felt her energy. He didn't bark. He didn't lunge. He hid behind my legs. The killer she was afraid of was trembling because a stranger raised her voice. I knelt down and held his face. "Ignore them, Titan. They don't know you. They don't know your heart." The stigma against pit bulls is a poison. It blinds people to the soul inside the dog. Titan was a victim, yet the world treated him like the criminal. I needed him to know that not everyone was like that. The breakthrough didn't happen with a person. It happened with a kitten. I brought home a foster, a tiny, screaming ball of fluff named Pip. I was worried. Titan was big. He was powerful. Would his prey drive kick in? Pip hissed. She swatted Titan right on his scarred nose. And this 80-pound tank, he just closed his eyes and let her do it. Then he did something that made me weep. He laid down, belly up, the ultimate sign of submission to a 1-pound kitten. He became her guardian. He let her sleep on his paws. He let her attack his tail. In caring for something smaller than him, Titan realized he wasn't the victim anymore. He was the protector. He found his purpose. And in that purpose, he found his confidence. Then, on a Tuesday evening, it happened. I threw a rope toy. Usually he just watched it land, but this time he chased it, he grabbed it, he shook it, and then he looked at me and grinned. That famous, wide, goofy pit bull smile. The ghost was gone. Titan had arrived. It's been 6 months since I found a skeleton in the rain. Look at him now. 85 pounds of pure muscle and pure love. He's a bed hog. He snores louder than a chainsaw. He thinks he's a lapdog. I didn't adopt Titan out. I couldn't. He had already found his home. He taught me that scars don't define your future. He taught me that even when the world treats you like a monster, you can choose to be kind. They called him a monster. I call him my best friend. I call him a survivor. He is the bravest soul I have ever known. He is a pit bull, and he is perfect. Titan's story is one of thousands. There are so many monsters out there waiting for someone to see the soul inside them. If Titan's journey touched your heart, please do me a favor. Look at your own dog, or the next dog you see, and recognize the soul in there. I have a question for you guys. What is the biggest misconception about pit bulls that you wish the world understood? Let me know in the comments below. Let's educate people together. Please hit that like button to help spread Titan's story and share this with someone who needs to see the truth about this breed. Until next time, keep rescuing.